the family of the TCL group of Bahamas for Sunrise, but there's none other than the G-Man, Godfrey Burnside. Here he is with our first look with Weather at Sunrise.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Phil, and good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather at sunrise, we have a weak cold front across Grand Bahama, Africa, and Bimini this morning. We'll push southeast across the province by tonight and stall. High pressure builds in its wake with breezy conditions. So today, partly sunny, breezy, and warm. There's just a few showers, high temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, a few clouds around on the mild side. Chance of a few passing showers, you're going down to 73 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 89 and 80. In Jamaica, 87 and 75. In Trinidad, 91 and 78. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 89 and 74. Across North America, Atlanta, 70 and 47. In Raleigh, 71 and 46. In Miami, 85 and 72. Dallas, Texas, 75 and 50. And Toronto, Canada, 59 and 47. As we go the week, the high pressure will go across the islands, so we can expect some breezy conditions through Thursday. We can expect the elevated chance in showers as we have some increased moisture by Thursday into Friday across the islands. Those temperature daytime will be in the mid to upper east of daytime and the low to mid 70s at nighttime. That puts you up in your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. Queen's College is promoting the COVID-19 vaccination throughout the entire school community and is hosting a virtual town hall meeting to discuss the issue as students return to campus. Here to talk with us about this, we are so happy to welcome Reverend Henry Knowles, who's the principal at Queen's College. He's joined today by head girl Devin Cuffy-Bethel, and also Nurse Tatum Munroe, who of course make sure that everybody stays safe at Queen's College. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
An absolute pleasure to have you with us, and so happy to be having this conversation with you. Of course, vaccinations recently became available to younger members of our population, and so it's good to see a school taking the lead in this regard. And I want to get started with you, Reverend Knowles, because QC recently conducted a COVID vaccination survey. Can you tell us about the results of that?
Oh, yes. Thank you, and good morning. Thanks for having us here this morning. And I do want to say that today, this interview and a part of what we're doing, we're actually launching the I Did It vaccination campaign, where we're promoting vaccinations across schools and across the country. And for this, we wanted to start with ourselves. We feel that the responsibility is on each of us to keep ourselves safe and those around us. So we did perform a research across our school campus, and we found that of our student body in the high school in particular, we have 538 students who responded to the survey so far, and 80% of them are either partially vaccinated or fully vaccinated. So this is really exciting to us. And then we moved on to staff, and in our staff survey, 139 of our staff members responded, and of the 139, 74% are fully vaccinated or partially vaccinated. And from when the survey was conducted several weeks ago, we know that there were several others who were slated to be vaccinated. So we're very excited, and we wanted to be the first to be able to say that we are a fully vaccinated school.
I did it. I love the name of the campaign. And then, of course, it's an educational institution. So I love that you guys conducted research behind this to support your goals and to figure out kind of where you sit and where you're going. Nurse Tatum, that was an overwhelming response, I think, from your student population, 538, 80% being either fully or partially vaccinated. What would you like to see in terms of those numbers? How many students would you like to see vaccinated ultimately, and why?
Well, we would like to see all of our students vaccinated. Since March of 2020, our students, they've been deprived of in-person learning. It's truly unprecedented. It's not something that I have experienced or our parents have experienced. And so in order for our children to return to school safely, we have to achieve a level of herd immunity. And that means that at least 70% of the population needs to be vaccinated. Now, let me use measles and chickenpox as an example. There's a reason why we don't see it as we used to, and that is the power of vaccination. Because the mass majority of us is vaccinated against those diseases, we won't see those who are not vaccinated. We won't see those diseases anymore because the mass majority is vaccinated. And that is what we'd like to see with COVID-19.
Okay, all right, very good examples used there in terms of measles and the chicken pox, which we're seeing less and less of now that I think about it. And I think sometimes we fail to think about it because we don't see it, right? And so very good points there. And I know about that school experience. I cannot imagine being a senior like Ms. Cuffy and not getting to do all the fun things that seniors plan after so many years of being in an institution. My daughter is just starting out and I want her to be in school all the time. So I totally get it. And I totally understand why it is that we want to encourage people to do this. But Devin, let's kind of talk about that so that people recognize the impact that virtual schooling has had. When you think about you and your classmates, what would you say the impact virtual schooling has been on students, and how anxious and excited are you all to get back on campus?
Virtual schooling has had a serious impact on students. The biggest impact being, I think, the environmental change. The classroom is built for learning, but home is not. This means that we have certain distractions at home that we'd never encounter in the classroom, like dogs barking all day, construction being done next door, neighborhood children out, and then the internet connectivity issues, which can cause you to break up during important lessons and tests. But school is not just about the academics, it's also about the social aspect, which means that being virtual, we miss out on t-shirt days, graduations, and proms as well. And I'd have to say that I'm extremely anxious to get back to school so I can get back to interacting with my teachers and friends in person, one-on-one, and eventually get back to having those social events that I mentioned.
Now, one of the good things about QC is that some of you have resumed learning in a hybrid model. So nurse, can you tell me more about that? What safety protocols are in place to make sure that students are safe when they are on campus?
So firstly, we are back using a hybrid model. So only 50% of the student population are on campus. So that's less persons and less contact. We have also made structural changes throughout our campus. So we have signage, we have floor markers to ensure the even flow of traffic and to promote social distancing. Even in our foundation year section of the school, we've placed hand washing stations outside of the classrooms so that after our children come off of the playground, they get to wash their hands before going into the classroom. Every classroom, our desks are spaced out at least 4 feet apart. Every room has a PPE kit with backup supplies. So we have extra masks for those in the event that something happens to a student's mask or a teacher's mask. We have an amazing facilities department that ensures that our classrooms, office spaces are sanitized multiple times during the day. And most importantly, accountability. We trust our parents, our staff, and our students to stay home if they are sick. We trust that when we are on campus, that we're not mingling, that we're wearing our masks appropriately and correctly, forming a great seal. And so we're doing all of these things so that we can keep our students in school and to ensure the safety of everyone while they're on our campus.
Awesome. Well, I know, Devin, that partly coming back is okay, but everybody really wants to be back full time. And that's why, Reverend Knowles, it's so important that you guys are launching this campaign today. You have a virtual Q&A coming up this Tuesday. Can you talk to me more about the panel for that event, one, and then two, let us know who the event is for. Is it only QC and QC alumni, or is this open to everyone to learn? Give us all the details about this panel coming up on Tuesday.
Okay, yes. So we will be hosting a community forum, or we call it community townhouse, which is a question and answering period with professionals in the field, and it's open to everyone across the Bahamas. In fact, it's virtual, so it's open across the world. We are a large school, so we have hundreds of students, we have over 100 staff, and as we internally pushed vaccination, we got all of the questions, we got the fears, the concerns, and even misinformation. And so we found that we were having to answer here and answer there. And what we said was that we would consolidate it together and to find a way to respond to our community. But then we realized if we're going to respond to our community of over 1,000 persons, we may as well make it accessible to the entire Bahamas because they have questions as well. And so we brought together a variety of professionals across the field, each having a different perspective on COVID-19. And so the questions are going to be directed towards their specialty. We have Dr. Nakia Forbes. She is an infectious disease specialist. We all know she's a household name. Dr. Jerome Lightburn, he is a pediatric cardiologist and president of the Bahamas Pediatric Association. Dr. Wilne Bain, she's an up-and-coming physician in the field of family medicine. Dr. Gustav Williamson Gustav, he is a research biologist and assistant professor at the University of the Bahamas. Mr. Lindsay Cancino, he's a Rotarian, and we all know that the Rotary Club has played a pivotal role in the logistics of vaccine dissemination across our country. And we have Nurse Tatum Munroe, our campus nurse. And the whole event is being hosted and moderated by Mrs. Sean Turnquest. She's the vice principal of Queens College, the head of high school. And we are excited for Tuesday evening. And we're inviting the entire Bahamas to join in at 6:30. You can find the information on the webinar on our website. We will be live streaming across our Facebook platform, Queens College Bahamas, Queens College Alumni Association, Queens College Center for Further Education. We want to reach everyone. Now, we've had questions come in ahead of time, but also during the live event. Those who join us live, they will be able to ask questions directly to the panelists, and the panelists will respond to their questions. So we're excited, and we hope by the end of tomorrow evening, the entire Bahamas will be able to say, I did it. And we're encouraging you to get vaccinated.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank all of you for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise. Of course, you just heard from Reverend Henry Knowles, who's the principal at Queens College, launching the I Did It campaign today. You, of course, are invited to join them tomorrow just to learn some more about it. If you still have questions, this is the time. A distinguished panel, many QC alumni on that panel, all of whom have done extremely well, as many QC graduates do. And so we invite you to join them. On that panel, of course, will be Tatum Munroe. You heard from her this morning. She's the school nurse. And then, of course, we want to thank Devin Cuffy for waking up extra early this morning. Miss Cuffy-Bethel, the head girl at Queens College, so well-spoken and reminding us why our young people need to be in classes. We want to thank the three of you again for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
Imagine you are going places in life. You feel the love and support of your family and friends. And then something happens that can change it all. Can you imagine? No, I really want you to imagine. You've done that thing that no one wants to talk about. You've made a huge mistake. Now, there's no one around except you, the consequences, and this new life. Luckily, there's an organization called PACE that have been providing access to young mothers like me for 50 years. PACE believes in preventing these types of stories, but PACE also believes that My story does not have to end with the mistakes of my childhood. PACE believes in providing holistic assistance to young mothers and fathers when they need it most. PACE, providing access to continued education for more than 50 years.
Welcome back to the show. Waking up to urinate multiple times could lead to disruptive sleep and daytime fatigue. Well, except that nighttime urination could be an important warning sign of serious medical conditions. We've got the good doctor back in the house joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise. Dr. Greggory Pinto, urologist at Urology Care Bahamas. Good morning, Doc. Welcome back to the show. As always, good to have you.
It's my pleasure. Good morning, Philip. Good morning, Bahamas. And good morning to my daughter, Chea. Yes, so waking up in the night is not something you need to ignore. It can be a warning sign of something more sinister going on. Obviously, everyone needs to have at least 6 to 7 hours of good sleep. You waking up in the night to urinate is going to wake up your spouse, your partner, even other members of your family. You're going to walk around like a zombie throughout the day. It's going to affect you professionally, socially. You need to get those good hours of sleep. So there's so many different causes of waking up in the night, whether you're a male, a female, or a child. Unfortunately, with this COVID-19 pandemic, we have a new medical entity. It's called CAC, COVID-19 related associated cystitis. So it's basically an inflammatory response related to the COVID-19 virus, where many people, even if they had overactive bladder symptoms before COVID-19, all of this has been exacerbated because they've gotten COVID-19. Even people who have recovered many months later, they're still waking up 5, 6 times in the night, which they never did before they got COVID-19. In terms of nocturia, which is a medical term for waking up in the night to urinate, anything more than twice a night is not something that you should tolerate. I mean, that is the bare minimum you're going to tolerate. There's so many different causes I mentioned. One is uncontrolled blood pressure. So you talk about high blood pressure being a silent killer where there are no symptoms until it's too late. One of the early symptoms studies have shown is nocturia, waking up in the night. So if you're waking up in the night excessively, it might be because you're not emptying your bladder completely. It might be because there's some inflammatory response going on in your bladder, which might be recovering from COVID-19. It might be, if you're a female, you might have organ prolapse. You might have prolapse of your uterus or your bladder. If you're a male, in many cases, it's because you have an enlarged benign prostate, BPH, which is all of a sudden going to make you wake up 5, 6, 7, 8 times in the night. I always speak about bedwetting. No child should have to be wetting their bed. It's devastating to them in terms of their social development, in terms of their emotional development. It can be extremely depressing for not just the child, but the parent. As a urologist, we can stop the bedwetting dead in its tracks. No child needs to be waking up wet at 15, 12, even 6 years old because they have nocturia or nocturnal enuresis, which is bedwetting. So anytime you're having the bladder control your life, whether it's daytime, nighttime, because of overactive bladder symptoms, seek the assistance of a urologist because you don't have to live like that. Get back control of your bladder. Get control of your happiness. You don't have to live your life based on where's the next bathroom. You don't have to be worried about it in every meeting, having to run to urinate. You don't have to be afraid to simply drink a glass of water or have a cup of coffee because you know you're going to be urinating every 15 minutes if you do so. So don't live your life dehydrated. Stop worrying about stopping drinking at 5 o'clock in the evening and going to bed feeling parched and dehydrated because you know, if you drink even a glass of water an hour before bed, you're going to be waking up 5 times. It's a sign of something that sinister possibly going on, and it's something that we can easily treat. So no matter what the cause, in modern urology and modern medicine, you always treat the root cause, not just the symptoms such as waking up in the night. We need to figure out why you're waking up in the night, treat that root cause, which might be something more sinister going on. And it's not just a nuisance. If you're not emptying your bladder, it can lead to renal failure, can lead to irreversible damage to not just your bladder, but your kidneys. So listen to your body. If something's going wrong and you're waking up in the night unnecessarily, seek help.
Yeah. So I tell you, Doc, you're hitting so many points, unfortunately, on a checklist for so many of us, myself included. You mentioned hypertension as being either a cause or maybe one of those sinister things behind the scenes. How do you get around that? I mean, it's so prevalent here in our country. You know, what are some of the treatments, and when does somebody know? I mean, you call it a silent killer, but you know, besides possibly frequent urination at night.
Well, as a urologist, I see patients with uncontrolled blood pressure all the time. And it's not that many of them have been diagnosed with high blood pressure, but they refuse to take their medication. So we're talking about men who are notoriously stubborn. They feel like they have no symptoms because they don't take their high blood pressure medication. But as a urologist, if I want to give you the greatest motivation to take your high blood pressure medication, is that the first thing that's going to be ruined is going to be your erection. So when you have uncontrolled blood pressure for days on end, weeks, months, the first thing it's going to do is going to cause damage to the small blood vessels in your body. And as a male, the small blood vessels are first going to affect your erections. The blood supply to your most important male member is going to be damaged.
Well, you know, Doc, sometimes
irreversibly.
Sometimes the guys say, you know, taking the high blood pressure, you know, medication is also causes.
I'm not gonna deny that. There's so many different classes of high blood pressure medication. If there's one class of high blood pressure medication that in that particular individual causes your erections to get worse, there are other classes of high blood pressure medications that you can take. Don't take your life and your health in your own hands. Seek medical attention. Let a physician guide you. High blood pressure can be a silent killer. And for men, it's going to silently kill your erections. In many cases, it can be irreversibly damaged. So don't just take the blue pill. If you have erectile dysfunction, let's treat the root cause. If it's high blood pressure, and even if it's because of the high blood pressure medication, we can change you to a high blood pressure medication that can give you back your erections and to make sure that you're not going to have kidney failure. You're not going to end up on dialysis. You're not going to lose your eyesight. You're not going to have untold damage to your heart. You're not going to die of a stroke or a heart attack at a young age. So please do not ignore the warning signs. Waking up in the night to urinate is a warning sign of something sinister going on. It might be as simple as behavioral modification. If you're waking up because you're drinking 20 gallons of water, that in itself, you can just curtail that behavior. So you only really need to have 6 to 8 glasses of water, 6 to 8 ounces of glasses of water every day over a 24-hour period. There's this misconception that every time you wake up to urinate, you have to replace whatever you urinated out, and that is absolutely incorrect. All you're doing is causing yourself to wake up another time to urinate.
Yeah, Doc, listen, thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you here on Bahamas at Sunrise, talking about so much important things. Again, really quickly, how can persons reach you if they want to?
I'm a urology consultant at the Princess Margaret Hospital, so you can get a referral from any local clinic in New Providence or on the Family Islands. I have a website, Urology Care Bahamas, and my main office is Oak Tree Medical Center. The number there is 322-1145. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you so much, Dr.
All
Greggory.
right, good morning.
Urology Care Bahamas. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. wear a mask, and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. BTC Business invites you to Small Business Fridays for the month of October. And here to talk with us about that, we're very happy to welcome Teneile Simmons. She's the head of small and medium business with BTC. Good morning and welcome back to the Bahamas at Sunrise, Teneile.
Good morning, Anastasia. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming us back.
It's always a pleasure to have BTC in the space with us, letting us know what's happening with them. And this time, you guys are doing something called Innovation. And people have to know that the know in this is KNOW, meaning that you got to be in the know with what's happening. Innovation Small Business Fridays. Talk to me about the idea and purpose behind this.
Absolutely, yes. So this is actually our 5th year in celebrating Small Business Month. And we coined the phrase Innovation Conference within the 3rd year, because we wanted to do something a little bit different by way of bringing, I would say, more of a learning and experience to our small business owners. And so the Innovation Conference, as you know, we're in a pandemic. So of course, we're not able to meet in that large scale as we did 3 years ago. So we've turned it fully virtual. And the Innovation Conference comes again to bring great speakers, keynote speakers from around the world. This year, we've partnered with our Flow Business colleagues. So Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, each one of us would have a keynote speaker for that particular Friday. We're in our 3rd Friday. And this week, we are actually featuring Grace Hamilton, also known as Spice, as our keynote speaker.
Wow, Spice coming through to speak. Okay, that should be incredibly exciting. What time do you get started and what's needed in order for people to register? I'm sure people would love to hear more from Spice and kind of how she's turned her music into a business empire.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of the entertainers, you know, that's what they've had to do, right? They've had to pivot during this time because you could not entertain the way you used to in those big crowds. And so they've fallen on their big brands and turned it into very, what we call lucrative businesses. So Spice actually kicks off this Friday at 10 a.m. Persons can register by going to www.flowbusiness.co/events. And like I said, we kick off at 10 a.m. Spice is going to talk about all of her different revenue streams that she's been able to take advantage of during this time. You know, she's really hitting it big. She just did an article in Forbes and talks about all of the successes she's actually experienced. So we're really excited to hear about, you know, what she's been doing and how that could inspire another small business owner here. We actually kicked off on the first Friday, which was October 8th, with Allison Hines. And so that went over very well. Our registration numbers have been actually surpassed what we have anticipated, you know, because this is really a trying time. And we wanted to take that time to, you know, see where we can help, because each one of our, what we call our keynote speakers, it's actually underpinned by what we call a workshop. And it's a four hands-on workshop that we're hosting this month, where persons can take advantage of different areas that they want to, you know, learn more about how they can, you know, pivot or change the way that they do business. And one of those ways is obviously going digital. And so, you know, each Friday you can actually go into a hands-on workshop. You know, it's not too crowded. You have to register, of course, and you get that one-on-one with what we call our subject matter experts and, you know, persons who can help them go digital, how you can now take advantage of online payments, how you can, you know, boost your website or boost your social media presence, how you can actually take your products from just being local to, throughout the Caribbean, to the US and Canada by way of a new distribution channel. And so we're excited about what we're able to offer our small business owners just this time around.
That's exciting. That is so exciting, Teneile. And I know that now more than ever, businesses need this. So it's so good to know that BTC is kind of holding people's hands through this and helping them. And you yourselves offer several products that benefit small businesses. And one of the things that I heard about was something called the Elite Bundle. Could you tell us some more about what that is and how that could help small businesses?
Absolutely. So every year, we try to bring something new and fresh by way of value packages to our customers. And this year is no different. So we've been able to, what we call just take it up a notch with our Elite Bundle. It gives our small business customers the opportunity to take advantage of what we call our fiber rollout. So how we expand our network and being able to give our customers super fast fiber speed. Our small business customers can now take advantage of it. And our Elite Bundle gives them the opportunity to get up to 600 megs fiber at their business. And we've bundled that with a mobile plan. And that comes also with a free iPhone and their ability to get a website. So if your company does not have an online presence, we will build that for you. We're not taking over your content management. So we're not going to take over that, but definitely come with your content. We'll build that for you. We have a timeline within 5 to 7 days. If you have your photos, if you have your images, your videos, your content, we can build that over for you. And we host that for you absolutely free for 12 months. So,
Wow.
You can come and say, hey, I want to be in the digital space. I want to take advantage of being here. And we'll definitely set you up with your super fast fiber speed, your mobile plan. You have a free iPhone 12. Do not forget that. And then, of course, your website and online store.
That's a big deal, Teneile. So many businesses just need someone to help them, right? They think they know what they want, but they just don't know where to go. And so just to have that website online and then to make sure it's fast and efficient, that's a very big deal for businesses. So that's really exciting.
Absolutely.
So Teneile, I want you to just let us know how businesses can reach out to you, whether this is their first time hearing about the Innovation Conference and they want to, hear Spice share some stories or get into that workshop, or they want to learn more about this Elite Bundle or just BTC business in general. How do they reach out to you and your team?
Absolutely. Definitely reach out to us by calling us at 302-7200. We do have a full concierge team that can come out to you. And I cannot leave without mentioning the fact that today is the last day that we're actually hosting our business competition pitch. So what that means is we tied that into Small Business Month this year. So we're giving back. We have the opportunity, we're giving the opportunity where business owners can pitch a small business idea. So this is new business or, businesses that are currently in existing, but just need that extra boost. Today is the last day for you to pitch. And so you can log on to Innovation Challenge. That's INKNOWBATION challenge.com. And you can pitch your business idea. Just 2 minutes we're asking for, and give you an opportunity to win up to $15,000 in cash and prizes.
Oh, wow. Excellent. So Innovation, INKNOWBATION with BTC. Check them out, whether you're going in that pitch competition today. That's Monday, October 18th. Get those videos in. And then, of course, you can join them every Friday for the rest of the month with some of their amazing speakers, or just give them a call, see what they can do for your business. Teneile, we're so grateful that you joined us and that BTC continues to just share in this entrepreneurial space, which, of course, we know is so important to the country. And so congratulations to you and your team, and all the best with Innovation 2021.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wanda Rogers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ranga.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Munish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jazreel Thompson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonami.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rajesh Pahawa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Therese Nairn Knowles.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alpheus Alec,
Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the consultant surgeon here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the director of imaging at Doctors Hospital.
An anesthesiologist here at Doctors Hospital.
Infectious diseases physician.
I'm radiologist at Doctors Hospital.
Emergency room physician here at Doctors Hospital.
And I'm clinical director of the Emergency Transport Services and Continuing Medical Education here at Doctors Hospital.
I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I have been fully vaccinated for COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
And I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I hope you are too.
Are you? Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Welcome back to Bahamas and Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this marvelous Monday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Happy Monday to you. I'm Philip Simon.
And of course, we're happy that you're still with us. We hope that you've been enjoying a very informative show so far. And we still got more to come in the second half. And we're going to be talking to Dr. Williamson Chea about breast cancer in the Bahamas.
Yes, and we'll also talk about liquidity risk in our Economic Pulse segment. Star, I'm looking forward to that. As usual, we got Karlos, Mackey, and Rupert Pinder. A lot of things are happening, man. A lot of things are happening.
Well, the two of them together is really going to be a great conversation. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And that is still to come. But first, we're going to take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Don. Good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather Sunrise, we take a look at the tropics. The tropics is quiet this morning, and tropical cyclone formation expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, weak cold front across Grand Bahama, Abercrombie this morning will push southeast across New Providence by tonight and stall. High pressure builds in its wake with windy conditions. In your marine forecast today, those winds northeast of 15 knots, 3 to 5 in the northwest central Bahamas, increasing by afternoon to 15, 20 knots, building 4 to 6 feet. And northeast to east of 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. On Tuesday, those winds northeast to east at 15, 20 knots, 4 to 6 feet in the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 knots, 3 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. Then on Wednesday, those winds become easterly at 15, 20 knots, 4 to 6 feet. Your tides, coming over high tide at after 7 a.m. this morning. Your next low tide at 1:15 this afternoon. High gain this evening at 7 to 17. Sunset 6:38 this evening. Rising at 7:10. UV index 8. Your water temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And your moon phase now moving towards the full moon. Standard look. High pressure comes down the feature. So we expect to look at partly sunny skies through Thursday. Still breezy with a few showers. And by Thursday we expect increasing cloudiness with some showers. The temperature daytime will be in the mid to upper 80s daytime. And at nighttime, low to mid 70s. That's what's wrapping your fun. Look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. So for the past few years, we've seen banks leaving, consolidating their branches, and recently removing interest from savings accounts, all in a response to what you would call local market and economic conditions. So what does this all mean? We've got the pros here this morning, Karlos, Mackey. president of Money Max and Prime Financing, and Rupert Pinder, economist, a UB professor. You know, I like to call him Big Papa, and a professor here back on Bahamas at sunrise. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. Good morning, Phil. Thanks for having us, man.
Always good to have you both talking, you know, the economy, economics, financing. I mean, so much is going on. You know, it's talking with Start, you know, during the mid-show, behind the scenes, we spend so much time talking about COVID and the last, you know, two years or so. But we're some interesting things are happening, not just in the Commonwealth of Bahamas, but around the world.
Indeed. Yeah. I think, you know, there's a lot that's happening. There's some things that are happening, obviously, in the U.S. They are what I would call fighting Congress about their debt limit has been very interesting. There are some things that are happening really all around the world, actually. We have a lot of conversations as far as the IMF is concerned about different economies and how they are rebounding. You also have China, which is really dealing with the real estate asset bubble potentially. So there's a lot of what you would call very interesting things happening right now.
Yeah. So if we kind of take that to the micro level, when we talk about liquidity risk, Rupert, what is that, and how does it determine the way that banks operate?
Well, I mean, I guess it's important for our audience to perhaps get in a bit of explanation in terms of what is liquidity, because I mean, when we talk about these concepts in terms of liquidity, so I guess the best way to describe it is really in terms of excess cash, more or less, in terms of excess cash greater than perhaps what your needs are, pretty much. So in the case of the banks, as you would have alluded to, I mean, there is really a high degree of liquidity within the system or excess cash. And a lot of that is really driven by the fact that, you know, you're coming out of a deep recession as a result of COVID-19, Hurricane Dorian, etc. And as a result of that, and we have also had a relatively high level of default, in terms of non-performing loans, although I think there's some signs of recovery as a result of that. And the banks, on the other hand, I think are relatively conservative in their lending, right? So you have all of these factors coming into play. And as a result of that, the banks have excess cash. And so one of the things that I found quite interesting is that when everybody get tied up in knots when the bank decided to announce in terms of a 0%. But bearing in mind that we were already at near zero, right? Even prior to now, because some banks are offering you like 0.25%, et cetera. But of course, it had a certain psychological ring the minute that they said it was 0%. Bearing in mind that, again, it also reflects the fundamentals within the market, rightly or wrongly. Because what the banks are saying is, hey, look, we have excess cash and we don't want your cash. Thank you very much. That's essentially what they're saying. And to me, I think that there's some positives to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you want to get into that right now, but there are actually some positives to what is happening. And I think people have to recognize that there are some potential business opportunities as a result of the banks announcing in terms of going to a 0% interest rate. Of course, the 0% only applies to new money, right?
Well, I already see we don't have enough time, you know, because you hit on some points here that I really want to explore this morning. But Karlos, you know, so if I'm not paying banking fees, I'm not, you know, earning any money, what's the point? I mean, what's the point of being in the bank at all? You know, Rupert's talking about these opportunities. I mean, how should entrepreneurs be viewing this shift in the banking climate?
Well, I think that there are two classes of entrepreneurs that we need to bifurcate. The first is we have to figure out in the financial services space, how do we unleash the entrepreneurial, what we would call energy in the financial services space. We right now do not have anywhere close to a mature capital market. And I think it's important that we figure out how do we now bring our capital markets to a place of maturity. We need financial services intermediaries and actors who are going to serve essentially as what we would call holding places and conduits in order to get what we would call this excess liquidity. Instead of that simply sitting on a bank's balance sheet, we need to now get that to a place where that is going into new venture opportunities. And then you have a second set of entrepreneurs, which is what we would call the productive class. And I'm sorry, yes, I'm in financial services, but we are not a part of the productive class. We don't necessarily grow economies in financial services, right? So thankfully, I'm a part of other businesses that grow the economy. Financial services doesn't necessarily do that. So the productive class now, having these new financial intermediaries, has to now say, okay, we are going to be prepared to go a different route, try a different way of raising capital. And I think that that has always been the case. Our productive class has been willing to do that. We just now need to say, okay, in the financial services space, let's have some new energy, maybe even some new legislation that unfetters what some of these new types of financial intermediaries can do. Can we have what I would call your RWAC-X's and some of the other, what we would call newer kind of intermediaries have less restriction. We see that in the United States, you have and Europe, you have lots of different kinds of financial intermediaries, some that do up to 5,000, some that do up to 50,000, some that do up to 5 million or 50 million, right? And they have all kinds of different, what I would call lanes to play in. We have to figure out how we can allow our financial intermediaries to have different lanes to play in, because between the three of us here, we can probably come up with 4 or 5 ideas today that will be in different spaces. One may be for 5 million, another may be for 50 million. We need to have financial intermediaries that will allow us to do that. But one quick point, we have to have a change in our paradigm in the Bahamas. There has to be a willingness for us to fail forward in business. I don't think that we have that. In the Bahamas, our financial system is set up as though a business that comes for a loan must not fail. You cannot have a vibrant, productive economy if you do not expect that at least 50 to 80% of your businesses are going to fail. In the United States and in Europe, when you get into venture capital, your expectation is 80% of your portfolio companies, 80% of your loans will go bad. What you are looking for is those 20% that are going to be superstars, that are going to make so much return that the other 80% that failed didn't matter. We have to change our paradigm.
Yeah, well, Karlos, that's why the people are keeping their money right now, because we don't have those types of, proliferance of venture capitalist opportunities here. Rupert, we're completely out of time, but I give you the final word. One minute. What do you say to all of this? Is there still, as Karlos said, these growing opportunities for Bahamians and entrepreneurs?
Well, I mean, and I still maintain, that, that there's still a lot of opportunities, say, with respect to how do you deal with the issue in terms of access to liquidity. For example, the government's been talking a lot about the public-private partnership, given in terms of the debt levels of the country, et cetera, where Bahamians will have an opportunity to take equity position in a lot of these projects. I think with a lot of the access to liquidity, I think it presents some of those areas in terms of opportunities, but I don't think we should just look at it that, okay, they're offering 0%, that's what's going on here, but look at it as a potential opportunity as well.
Yeah, okay, well, glass half full. Karlos Mackey, President, Money Max and Principal, also Prime Financing, and Rupert, Pinto, Economist and Professor at the University of Bahamas. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Have you heard about Trinity Christian Schools?
We are a family school located on Trinity Way, Stapleton Gardens. We offer quality Christian education from preschool to grade 6. Here are the reasons why you should choose Trinity Christian Schools.
We offer quality Christian education.
We are a family school.
Our teachers provide individual support.
Our class sizes are small.
We offer a safe and happy environment.
Our teachers are caring and experienced.
Join the Trinity family.
We want you to be a part of the Trinity Christian Schools.
Come join us.
We want you to be a part of our family.
Doctors Hospital is proud to introduce the Loyalty Advantage Membership Program, or LAMP. LAMP offers medical service discounts to new and existing Doctors Hospital patients. With membership starting as low as $20 per month, LAMP benefits include fee waivers for insured patients, discounts on inpatient and outpatient services, access to free imaging services, and much more. For a full list of benefits or to sign up for LAMP, visit doctorshos.com/LAMP. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth?
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you for staying with us. Well, as you're well aware, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. About 2 million new cases of breast cancer are diagnosed annually around the world, and health officials estimate 300 to 500 new cases each year here in the Bahamas. Here to talk with us about this, we're very happy to welcome Dr. Williamson Chea. He's the Consultant General Surgeon at PMH at Doctors Hospital and President of the Cancer Society. Dr. Chea, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, Dr. Chea. Of course, I wish it wasn't under such serious circumstances, but certainly we take the opportunity to educate the population as something that must be done, especially when it pertains to breast cancer. And so the first thing I want to ask you is, what exactly is breast cancer and what are the symptoms?
Well, breast cancer is a diseased entity that we always say that it's a cancer that derives from the tissue in the breast themselves. As you may or may not know, the anatomy of the breast has several different types of tissues within it, and it's a cancer that arises from parts of the anatomy of the breast. The breast has what we call lobules, it has ducts, and it has connective tissue. Most of the cancers arise from the ducts of the breast, but it also can arise from the lobules of the breast tissue as well.
Okay, and what are some symptoms that people might be able to use to identify whether or not it is some breast cancer they're experiencing?
Well, oftentimes there is no symptoms actually, but hopefully if we can get more people to screen, then screening will pick up cancers before they have no symptoms. But oftentimes women come to physicians and complaining of a lump in their breast. If they go to the point where there's a lump in the breast, that means the lump has grown from something that you cannot feel to something that you can now feel. But we still would encourage self-breast examinations, but we refer you to do screenings so we can pick up cancers very, very early and eventually have a cure for the patient.
What is the cancer screening process? What's involved with screening for cancer?
As I said, we still promote self-breast examinations, but the gold standard really is to do mammograms. And we suggest do mammograms starting at age 40. And also along with an ultrasound of the breast. Those are the main screening processes. If you're very, very high risk, then an MRI is encouraged as well.
And is this sort of technology and screening process available to patients without insurance, patients in the general public?
Oh, yes, by all means. The mammograms that, during the month of October with breast cancer awareness, the centers that have mammogram machines do offer a special, but throughout the entire year, we can get mammograms at no problem, with no problem.
Okay. And then, in terms of when we talk about why this is so necessary, what is the prevalence of it here in the Bahamas?
Well, I just heard an alarming statistic last night in a presentation by my colleague. We actually in the Bahamas have one of the most highest rates of breast cancer in the world. It's about 90 per 100,000 persons. And that is a statistic that we don't want to have, but unfortunately, women in the Bahamas have a very high risk of breast cancer. I must add, just to put a plug in there, males do get breast cancer, but it's really, very, very low, very less than 1%. But men, you also need to examine your breast as well.
Okay. And I just want you to give that statistic one more time, Dr. Chea, just in case somebody somehow missed it, but it sounded quite alarming. So could you just tell it to us one more time?
Statistic last night is information from the Bahamas National Cancer Registry, and there's 96 women per 100,000 that can get breast cancer. That is a really, really alarming rate.
Wow.
So we need more women to, practice good health and do their screenings on a regular basis.
Now, Dr. Chea, given that, is that related to this concept of the BRCA gene? We heard a lot about that in recent years, and there are some studies that say that 23% of Bahamian women who have breast cancer carry this BRCA1 gene mutation. Can you kind of explain what that means for us?
Yeah, that was mentioned again last night in our monthly meeting of the Cancer Society of Bahamas. The 23% figure that's thrown around is not really 23% of women. It's 23% of women with breast cancer. So there's a difference. So you can't go out and say that 23% of maybe 1/4 of women will get breast cancer. That's an erroneous statement. There was a study done by physicians at the University of Miami and our local oncologists that tested or examined women with breast cancer. And of those, 23% of women with breast cancer per se had the BRCA gene. So there is a distinct difference. Although we do have not as high as 23% of the population, no.
Okay. And if somebody has the BRCA gene, is this what would make, I'm just trying to understand how we can educate people to be more proactive in this. If somebody has this BRCA gene, is aware of it, would this then make them more likely to get cancer? And should they then be maybe screening even before age 40? I think about a girl I know that is only 32 and she's already had breast cancer. So when should we start to even maybe take this even more seriously, even before 40?
It's important also to point out that the BRCA gene is not only in women, you can also BRCA gene in men. And you find that the BRCA gene causes an increase in pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, as well as breast cancer. To answer your question, if someone gets tested or genetic testing and is found to have the BRCA gene, they themselves would have a higher incidence of getting breast cancer in their lifetime, up to about 87% for those with the BRCA gene positive will get breast cancer. So if you have the BRCA gene, then you may undergo genetic testing, and you probably be encouraged to do a mastectomy at some point before you get breast cancer.
Wow. All right. And is mastectomy the only treatment for breast cancer? Can you kind of talk us through this process once somebody has found out that they do have breast cancer? What happens next?
It gets very technical. If you have the BRCA gene, then mastectomy should be the choice. However, if you don't have the BRCA gene and you develop breast cancer, then there are different options in terms of treatment for breast cancer. We always say that breast cancer or any cancer is multidisciplinary. It involves the oncologist, involves the radiation oncologist, involves the surgeon. So it depends on the individual, but there are various options. In terms of surgical options, you do not have to have a mastectomy if you get breast cancer. We can do what we call breast conserving surgery, or you can do mastectomy. So it has to be individualized in the person and the tumor biology of the lesion itself. But those are some of the surgical options.
Okay. Now, you are also president of the Cancer Society, Dr. Chea, and some people may not know the work of the society. So if you'd be so kind as to tell us the very important role that you all play in helping so many women in our country that do have breast cancer.
So just a little bit about the Cancer Society of Bahamas. We're located on East Avenue, it's 2 doors south of ZNS, up in Collins, off Collins Avenue. We at the Cancer Society promote a very healthy lifestyle. Our mission statements states that we promote healthy living. We promote screening, education of the public in terms of informing the public about all types of cancers, not only breast cancer, although we're talking in October, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We have monthly meetings every month on a different cancer. We highlight that cancer of the month. We have an expert in the area and give a public lecture on that cancer. And then we try to spread the word throughout the entire country on all types of cancer. We have branches in various family islands. We hold mammogram, pap smear screening testing. We do prostate screening testing. And we also have a family island mammogram screening program where we actually bring women from the family islands, have them do a mammogram at no cost to them. We have them do a mammogram, we give them lunch. We then give them a tour of our facility, and then we fly them back to their various family islands. So those are some of the things that we do. We have financial assistance to people who do not have insurance. So there are a lot of things that the Cancer Society does, and we like to promote that healthy lifestyle on the public. We also must mention that we are a non-government organization whereby we try to raise funds on our own, and we don't get any assistance from the government. So we like to have people be aware of our situation, and we like as much people to donate as much as possible.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Chea, and sharing on so many of the facts around breast cancer. Of course, for those of you tuned in, there will be a longer session with Dr. Chea with You and Your Money, so make sure that you stay tuned for that episode, but also for making sure that you talk to us about the work of the Cancer Society, which, as you mentioned, needs charitable donations, and this is where the rest of us come in. And so we're hopeful that your parents will lead to some funds coming into that society so that we can continue to take care of those that need it so desperately. Thanks again for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back. For us here on Bahamas at Sunrise, thank you so much for joining us again today. We hope that you enjoyed the show.
Absolutely, and have a wonderful week and continue to be safe. See you soon. Bye.